Hi guys, we had more bad news. Well, the world has more bad news. So just when we thought that the prices of gas was going to start going down, I guess apparently some stuff happened like yesterday or the day before. And so if you were thinking about getting gas, go get it right now because tomorrow it's probably going to go up. It might even go up right now today. I just checked though, diesel is 5.41 a gallon out of town over here, 5.99 in town. It was probably 6.59 a gallon recently, and then they were like, we're gonna do these little talks and all this other bullshit. This stuff's all planned out, guys. I mean, this isn't like this is just like a political game of chess. That's all it is. It's like they already know. Okay, they're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. Blah blah blah. We'll play this little game. We don't even get our gas or our diesel from there, anyways. Like it's all a bunch of bullshit. It's like, well, it's sympathetic effects of the market because of the rest of the crap. There's only 15% of the oil goes through the Strait of Hormuz. Isn't that what they're saying? 15% of the world's oil? That's not very much. Oh, but that's a good enough excuse to jack up the prices from all this other stuff because we have to coddle these, rich people that control the world. Well, we don't have to coddle. They basically tell us what's going to happen, and we just say, okay, and the sooner that you realize that's what's going on in the world, the more it'll make sense. I mean, it's took me a while to kind of see what was going on. I'm not the smartest person in the world, but the world is being controlled by a group of elites. If you think that the president and voting and all this other stuff is going to make a difference, you're absolutely out of your mind. It's not. It is beyond the point that your vote matters. It is beyond the point that you have a say in what goes on. This has all ended a very long time ago. But, and that's for the United States of America. A lot of other people on the channel are from other places. But the point of the video is I'm telling you guys, so just go out and get your diesel and your gas today. And hopefully, just fill your tank. Just take advantage of it because it's going up. And, don't worry about it because, after that, it is what it is. You're going to have to pay whatever it costs. If it becomes to the point where it's just like, wow, this is really, really bad, it's just $10 a gallon, then we'll probably, stop driving or whatever. There'll be less driving. But there's people that are just not going to have a choice. They're going to have to pay that because it's either, well, I lose my house and my car and everything, or, my business fails or whatever. But it's really sad that we live in a world that plays a sick game like this, and they enjoy inflicting pain and suffering on the masses of people so that they can play their games as strategery. As George Bush said, strategery! We're looking for weapons of mass strategery. Anyway, the deal is that we can't do anything about it, but you can be aware of what's going on and kind of plan ahead sometimes, and save a few cents before you get screwed for sure. But it's coming, and the U.S. seized some vessel. I don't understand this. I thought the Strait of Hormuz was supposed to be open, so what's the U.S. doing capturing some vessel? And now the people were firing upon Indian tankers trying to go through there, and they turned around. And apparently, Iran said, we're closing the Strait of Hormuz. I don't know the whole, politics behind this, but I thought, I'm not an expert, but I would think that you go in and you wipe out this regime and you take care of business and you install your regime so you can steal all their oil and all their resources like we've done throughout history. And we just say, well, we're supporting their country. We're making everything safe for them, but instead we're doing some other crap, and we're not even it's not even for us. Some other buddy, the ultimate secret squirrel president, is making all these choices and decisions. Um, and, you know, it is what it is. You can't do anything about it. You just move on and go about your day. Your opinion doesn't matter. My opinion doesn't matter. You know, what we say doesn't matter. I don't really care. I just want to live out the rest of my years and take care of my kids and my family. I don't want to control the world. I don't want to have a fancy house. I don't want a brand new Corvette in the driveway. I don't want any of that. I just want to enjoy my life without paying $10 at the pump. Without having to buy $10 gallons of milk or that kind of thing. I just want to get by. I'm not going to live forever, so just let me live my life. Let me enjoy what's left of my life. I've already screwed up enough of it being a drunk ass alcoholic and an ex-convict for, a good part of my life. Let me just enjoy my life. I mean, I don't need to be, your political pawn or your slave. But unfortunately, we all are. And we're all paying the price for a few elite people's choices and decisions in the world. And, I mean, they want to yank your computer from you. They want to, track everything you do. They want to create an ID and a background on you so we can market stuff to you. Because it's so much easier when we know who the consumer is, we can, market them. It makes it easier to, strip everybody of their income and their earnings. That's what Amazon has figured out. That like, oh, well, we know how to do this. That's why when you search on Amazon, it's just fucking endless, mindless bullshit. It's like, this isn't even related to my search. Like, I mean, you think in 2026 that a search result is that stupid? Like Amazon, you type in something like, I was looking up ESR capacitor testers, ESR meter, and you get up all this other stuff. It shows you everything that's a meter. And so it includes all the keywords. And it doesn't like narrow the search. It actually broadens the search because it wants to spam you with so much shit. And to make it to where it's like frustrating, and then you like click buy it now on the first thing that's even like relevant. And that's their marketing strategy. So, I don't know. That's the state of the world today. We all everything's all digital. They make you pay $1,000 for a flagship phone if that's what you want. You carry it around in your pocket. It monitors all your activity. It sends all your information somewhere, and it's marketable. And they make money off of you paying for the phone bill. You're paying for the data. You're paying for the device. You can't do what you want with the device. You don't own the device. You will own nothing, and you will be happy. And I think what they really mean when they say that is, we will have the false illusion that we own something that we cannot control. So they're going to make us pay for the device or the theoretical chip that's implanted in us. You remember back in the day, people were like, they're going to put chips underneath our skin. They don't need to do that. You are carrying around a $1,200 iPhone or, a $1,200 S20 fucking 9 fucking whatever the hell it is now, You're carrying it around for them. You're paying for it. You're paying for them to track you. You're paying for them to gather your information. You're paying for them to target you. You're paying for them to monitor your behavior and your activity. And it's purely profit from them. And, they put these cameras up everywhere. They track you on your phone. They track you in your vehicle. They track you on your computer. They track you on your tablet. They track you on across all devices. Why do you think the stupid browser wants you to sign in on the browser so that you can have it on all accounts, on all your devices, so we can track all your behavior across all your devices? That's what's up with that, man. It's global tracking. It's They don't care who you are. You're not like you're some bad dude that they're just like trying to track. No, they want to make money off of you. Everybody's like, oh, you're just paranoid. Well, that's what they said 20 years ago, but look where we're at now. It's every tinfoil hat conspiracy has proved itself to be true so far since I first started hearing all this stuff. You know, and they play little games with the economy. They play games with credit. They play games with the housing market. They just exposed a company that was like doing housing market fixing. So they're doing like rent fixing. And they were like, literally, this company like is doing it on like a global level. And they were like actually reaching out to places and they were telling them, if you don't raise your rent, we're going to shut you down. And you're not going to be able to do this or do that. I forget exactly how it went down. But there was some stuff going on in Phoenix, Arizona, where this company was like telling these real estate places, "You got to charge more for your rent, or we're gonna blacklist you, or we're gonna." I forget what their deal was, but it was exposed. I didn't hear too much talk about it, but I can't remember what the name of the company was, but they're like a Zillow type of thing, you know, and they were doing rent fixing. Pretty big deal, and you know, and just like kind of everything else, you just follow the money. If you like look up these companies, who owns this company, who owns that company, it all ends up coming to the same place after a while. Because if you're not tied to one of those companies somewhere in the long run, you're not going to make it. They have made sure that there is no other competition. And what they've done is they've added a deception of making you think that this company is not affiliated, or make it look like some mom and pop brand is, you know, independent when they're really not. But you know, what are you going to do? What can you do about it? You can't really do anything. And another thing that I wanted to kind of point out that I noticed is that none of the protesting and none of that stuff is ever done by anybody that's not being paid. Okay? Normal people cannot afford to not go to work and go protest. So what you have is nothing but paid protesters making things seem like the opinion is a certain way when it's not. The average person that disagrees with what's going on and the narrative can't do anything about it, because if they do, they're going to lose their job, they're going to lose their house, they're going to lose their car, they're going to lose their family. They have more important things to worry about. They can't stop. Okay, the only people that can afford to protest what's going on are the people that are being politically paid by other sides of the fence. And in reality, like I said, it's a game of chess. If you see any kind of protesters, you can almost guarantee they're paid. It doesn't matter what side they're on. You know, it's a bird. Okay, you have the left and the right wing. It's all the same bird. Okay. If you think that person number one and person number two are different because one says he's this and one says he's that, I've watched these people change sides. I've watched the political parties flip around. It's all a bunch of bullshit. It's a bunch of games. If you believe in and trust in politics, then you obviously don't know what it's really about. It's like picking a football fucking team, dude. It's called Circus and Biscuits. It's the greatest distraction that there ever was while they slowly carry out their reset. And eventually, you'll never be able to buy a fucking home. You'll never be able to own land. You'll never be able to own a car. You will never be able to own anything. It will all be somebody else owns it, or you think you own it. But, like, if you think that you own your land and your property and your house, don't pay your property taxes and see what happens. You will realize real quickly you don't own anything now because they will take it from you. So, and it happens all the time. People die and they quit paying the property taxes because they're dead. And the government seizes their land. And so the government's gobbling up this land a little bit by a little bit here and there. Think about all the land that the government owns that me and you, we can't buy. They own it. Okay? Think about all the land and houses that these big companies have been buying up since 2020 that you and I can't own. Okay, they won't sell it. They don't give a shit if it's fucking empty. It's, they won't sell it. It's not being rented. They don't care. They're just going to sit on it. It doesn't matter to them. They don't need to. They've got trillions of dollars. So, how is it that anybody even owns land anyways? What's their fucking right to own the fucking land? And here's the other thing. Like, we don't know who was really here before we got here because there was probably somebody else before them. History doesn't necessarily indicate that one group of people were the original people here, even though that's what history has told us. There's been other information that's revealed otherwise, but it doesn't really matter. The United States of America, the British, came over here and took this place over and took it from the Native Americans. And then said, we took this land and we're going to give it to you if you do this and you do that. And then we took this land, we're going to sell it to you. They stole something and then they started selling it. Well, how the fuck do you have the authority to steal this land in the first place? And then, I don't know. I look at things from like a more simple type of way. It's like maybe like a rancher's type of mentality. You occupy the land that you use, and that's yours. If you're not using it, and you're not on it, and you're not living on it, how should you be able to fucking just sit on it? But what the hell do I know? But the one thing I do know is the government is taking land from people that don't pay their taxes, and they're sitting on it, and companies are buying up land that are not even in our country. How in the hell could a foreign country that's supposedly hostile to this country be allowed to own thousands of acres of farmland, especially when sometimes it's near sensitive places? I don't understand that one. How can we have people from hostile foreign countries that were born there be in our government of our country? People that are openly hostile to the Constitution, and all this other stuff. People whose religion is anti-American. How in the hell can we have these people in this country in the first place? Why would we let them come here? They're not tolerant of anybody else. Why should we tolerate them? Go over to their country and see what happens if you try and, do whatever the hell you want over there. It won't work. But somehow we're just supposed to sit back and just be like, sure. I don't understand any of it, guys. I really don't. And that's why I said I just kind of want to be left alone. I want to figure out a way to make enough money to just have a piece of land somewhere with a house and a farm on it and just live out the rest of my fucking days. And when I kick the fucking bucket, my kids can deal with all my fucking junk. And, they can have some good memories about dad and just be like, whatever. Dad was a fucking pack rat and fucking he loved making videos on YouTube without editing them and tortured everybody with really bad videos. But anyway, so this is the Monday morning rant on the Ham Radio Hack channel. So if you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, I don't really care. You can go fuck yourself. I'll catch you guys later.